So right now we have every NHL team on this board right here, but by the end of the video, only one team's gonna be left standing. We're gonna have all 32 NHL teams face off in a 3-on-3 gauntlet, and the last team standing wins. So how does this all work? Well, of course, we're starting with a wheel spin. I don't think that's much of a surprise. We gotta figure out who our attacking team's gonna be, and it looks like it's gonna be the Washington Capitals. So now that we know the Washington Capitals are attacking, we gotta figure out who's gonna be defending, and it looks like that's gonna be the New Jersey Devils. So we have the Washington Capitals taking on the New Jersey Devils. It's going to be a 3-on-3 overtime, and of course the first team that scores wins. So as I just mentioned, it's pretty simple here. First team to score wins. But what happens if neither team scores in overtime? Well, that's where things are going to get really interesting, because then both teams are going to be eliminated. We need a winner in these matchups, so if neither team scores, then both teams are going to be eliminated. So Alexander Ovechkin's going to be bringing the puck into the offensive zone. He's trying to dance around the defense, but he's still going to get through. The puck's behind the net. Connor McMichael's looking to collect it. Alexander Ovechkin was open in front. I mean, he wasn't really that open, but you probably could have fed him the puck there, and New Jersey's now going the other way. Jesper Bratt over to Dougie Hamilton. They're dropping it back. Jack Hughes, another great opportunity, but Logan Thompson's flashing the leather. He's making a big time save, and now Washington's moving the other way. Connor McMichael's got himself a breakaway. He can end this game right here and eliminate the Devils, but you know what? Jacob Markstrom's going to make the big time save, and he's keeping his team in the game. What is Washington doing? Why did Bro go for a change right there? Jack Hughes, what are you doing? Jack Hughes, what are you doing, my guy? You had a breakaway. Nah, these teams are really showing out, but they're showing out in a bad way, not a good way. So Washington's got an offensive zone draw. They're looking to win it and bring it back to the point. John Carlson's going to tee one up, and he's going to put it in the back. And then a big face-off win from Dylan Strom's going to send the puck back to John Carlson. He's going to tee one up, and the Washington Capitals are going to be taking down the New Jersey Devils in matchup number 1. Not only are the Devils eliminated, but they're also going to be losing a player here. So with the Washington Capitals winning that matchup, they're also going to be adding a player to the team. Now I'm going to add a player that makes the most sense, and truthfully this one's pretty easy. Jack Hughes is going to be joining the Washington Capitals. Washington already has a great goaltender in Logan Thompson. It doesn't really make sense to add Jacob Markstrom, who's only 2 overalls higher, but 94 overall Jack Hughes, yeah, it's a no-brainer. So welcome to the Washington Capitals. They're the first team claiming a victory today. So our first team is going to be eliminated, which is the New Jersey Devils. The Washington Capitals are getting a nice upgrade. Jack Hughes and Alexander Ovechkin on the ice together playing 3-on-3 hockey. Now that's going to be a tough team to stop. You know what? There's a lot of great 3-on-3 teams. Like look at the Edmonton Oilers. That team 3-on-3, yeah, they're going to be incredibly tough to stop. One team that won't be tough to stop though is the St. Louis Blues, because NHL 25 continues to disrespect this team. It's incredibly ridiculous, but that's not what today's video is all about. Like for a team that's currently split the series with the President's Trophy winners, you would think we would get a little bit more respect. But let's not get too deep into that discussion, because Stick on the Ice will yap for about 20 minutes. But the St. Louis Blues are going to be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is a pretty fair matchup, and it could really go either way. So we got ourselves overtime game number 2, the St. Louis Blues and Columbus Blue Jackets. Of course, I'm not going to be biased whatsoever, but the St. Louis Blues should win this game. They are just that good of a team. Feed the puck to Robert Thomas and let that man go to work. He's going to pick up an assist here. Jordan Kyrou a chance to win it. Nah, Merzlikins is making some big time saves here. Jordan Kyrou should have ended the game. So our third straight offensive zone draw. Can Braden Shen win another? Yes, he can. Broberg sending one on net. It's another big time Merzlikins save. This is ridiculous. But Columbus is going the other way now. Marchenko's bringing the puck in. He tried to dish it over, but it's not going to be across. And here goes Braden Shen. He's got himself a breakaway. Can he end it? Nope. Merzlikins continues to make big saves. Nah, bro is a brick wall right now. He is not letting any shots pass. Columbus is going to win this game because of Merzlikins. Now, so far in overtime, it's been all St. Louis, but it's also been all Elvis Merzlikins, because he has stopped every shot towards him so far. Bro has made like 7 saves in overtime, and Columbus is finally moving the opposite direction. Adam Fantilli's going to ring it off the post. He has a chance to end it, but he's not going to be able to capitalize. And here's St. Louis going the other way. Colton Parayko bringing the puck in. He's going to drop it over to Bolduc, and Bolduc's going to end this one. Merzlikins couldn't make all the saves. St. Louis is going to be ending that game right there. A big time goal from Zachary Bolduc, a future 40 goal scorer. So that's a huge goal from Zachary Bolduc, allowing the St. Louis Blues to win that game. Now when it comes to an upgrade for St. Louis, I don't really know what I want to go with, because we want to add something that makes the most sense, and I feel like Zach Werenski just might be that guy. Like right now we have a lot of great forwards when it comes to 3-on-3, but I think we could use a superstar defenseman, and that's exactly what Zach Werenski is. So Werenski, welcome to the team. You're now the highest overall in this team at 90 overall. Don't get me started on Robert Thomas's overall, because we could be here for a minute. So the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to be our second team to fall, and the St. Louis Blues are picking up a big time victory. You just love to see it. Now, it's good to see that we've had 2 goals in 2 overtime games, because I don't want to see a ton of teams being eliminated because neither team could score in overtime. The Buffalo Sabres on paper don't look like that bad of a team, so I wouldn't be surprised if they showed up in a video like this. However, we do have to remember, this is the Buffalo Sabres I'm talking about. When was the last time this team ever showed up? Like, realistically, the Buffalo Sabres are taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. If I'm being honest, I feel like this is one of those matchups where neither team will score. So Buffalo, Philadelphia, I'm questioning both of you guys. I'm not sure if either of you are going to be able to score a goal in this 3-on-3 overtime. But you know what? I need you to prove me wrong right here. I don't want to be eliminating both of you. Travis Konechny, he's bringing the puck into the zone. He's going to have it poked away, and now Buffalo's looking to go the other way, and they're going to have numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Tage Thompson's bringing the puck in. He's going to shoot that. You already knew Tage Thompson was shooting that puck. He wasn't passing it. He was looking to score there. He's going to send it over to Alex Tuch, but the pass is going to be deflected. It's bouncing around. Cam York's got, he's going to get it out, and Philly could have a breakaway here. Travis Konechny has a chance to end this game right here. Is he going to beat Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen? No, he isn't. He's making the big time save, and we're staying tied at 4. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are certainly controlling the tempo right now. They're putting a lot of pressure on the Philadelphia Flyers. Philly just can't gain control of the puck right now in the defensive zone. They finally got control of it, but they got to break it out, and they finally do that. No, Cates is going to send it up to Owen Tippett. Owen Tippett's absolutely exhausted. He's going to try to tee one up, completely miss the puck. Cam York has a chance to end it, and Cam York is scoring the big-time goal here. The OT hero is going to be Cam York. Philly had 3 exhausted players on the ice. Travis Sanheim went for a change. Cam York jumped on the ice. Buffalo had to capitalize with all those exhausted players, and they couldn't do that. And because they couldn't capitalize, they're going to be falling to the Philadelphia Flyers on Cam York's first shot. Nah, ain't no way that's how you're going to be losing. So that's a huge victory from the Philadelphia Flyers, and they can really add whoever they want from the Buffalo Sabres. Everyone would be a big upgrade, but I think we're just going to go with Rasmus Dahlin, 92 overall. You could go with Tage Thompson. You can make a pretty solid argument for that. You also can make a really solid argument for Rasmus Dahlin. It doesn't really matter who you go with here, so I'm just going to go with the highest overall. So it's actually kind of funny when you think about it. I said the Buffalo Sabres should actually have a decent 3-on-3 team, and I said a couple positive things about the Buffalo Sabres. They then proceeded to lose in their very first matchup and got eliminated by the Philadelphia Flyers. You know what? I think that's the most realistic exit for the Buffalo Sabres. They probably would have beat the Edmonton Oilers, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Vegas Golden Knights, but they would lose to the Philadelphia Flyers. That seems like the most fitting result. So 3 teams have been eliminated, but the real question is it about to be 4 teams eliminated or 5 teams eliminated? The Utah Hockey Club is going to be attacking next. There's still a lot of different options for the defending team. Then in theory, I feel like the Utah Hockey Club should have a decent top 3 they can run in overtime. They're going to be taking on the Calgary Flames. This is a pretty fair matchup, but I think Utah's going to have the edge. So we're jumping right into this matchup, and Mackenzie Weegar's got a breakaway already. Is he going to end it? He doesn't look like he's going to end it, and now Utah's going the other way. What a start to overtime. Logan Cooley, more than enough space here, and he's going to end this game. We're like 10 seconds in. 10 seconds in and we've already found the winner. It's going to be Logan Cooley and the Utah Hockey Club. Now I can confidently say that's probably going to be one of the fastest matchups we see. 11 seconds in, Logan Cooley is going to be scoring the winner, and because of that winner, they're going to be getting an upgrade in between the pipes. Dustin Wolf's going to be joining the team. Vejmelka's the starter right now. He's an 84 overall, and 84 isn't that bad, but you know what? 86 overall, Dustin Wolf is available, and I feel like he would be a really good upgrade for this team. Like, Utah already has 2 really solid defensemen here. They have a handful of solid forwards. I think goaltending's where they're really lacking. So Dustin Wolf, welcome to the team. No, but that game really ended in 11 seconds. 11 seconds is all it took, and the Calgary Flames are going to be eliminated. No, that was a wild matchup. So Utah made quick work of the Calgary Flames. Is anyone going to beat that record? 11 seconds. It actually might have been like 13 or 14 seconds. All I know is that game ended incredibly quick. Vancouver, let's see if you can top that. But you know what? I think I'm setting too high of expectations for the Vancouver Canucks, expecting them to score a goal in 15 seconds. Just beat the Montreal Canadiens. I think those are more fair expectations. So 2 Canadian teams are facing off here, Vancouver and Montreal. I thought Vancouver was about to turn the puck over. I thought Montreal was going to immediately score, but it doesn't look like it. Montreal is going to do a great job breaking the puck out, and here goes Nick Suzuki, a bit of a one-on-one. He's going to dish over to Cole Caulfield, but NHL 25 Thatcher Demko's in between the pipes. Yeah, Vancouver's officially the favorite. So let's see if that icing is going to backfire for the Montreal Canadiens. Vancouver's going to be winning the face-off. A shot thrown towards the net's going to be blocked. Michael Masson's going to pick it up, and he might have a breakaway here if he can turn on the Jets. There is somebody on his tail, but they just don't have enough speed, and Michael Masson's going coast to coast here. He's going to bury the winner, and the Montreal Canadiens are going to be taking down the Vancouver Canucks. I guess icing that puck worked out for the Montreal Canadiens. Michael Masson turning on the Jets is going to score the winner, and they're going to be moving on. Well, Vancouver's going to be eliminated. Now, there's certain teams where you really don't have to look at who's available here. Like NHL 25 Thatcher Demko would be a massive upgrade for the Montreal Canadiens. He'd be an elite goaltender. He's 6 overall, higher than Montebault, but that means I have to pass up on Quinn Hughes. And I can't pass up on Quinn Hughes. I just can't do that. So Quinn Hughes, you're going to join the Montreal Canadiens. Thatcher Demko, unfortunately, since you're not switching teams, we're not going to see you for the rest of this video. But yeah, I can't pass up on Quinn Hughes. I just can't do that. Now, although one Canadian team is being eliminated, another Canadian team seeing a nice upgrade. The Montreal Canadiens are bringing Quinn Hughes to the team. You definitely can't sleep on them now. Quinn Hughes and Lane Hudson and Michael Matheson, nah, you can work with those 3 guys. Now, Quinn Hughes is definitely going to be a star defenseman, but now they have more defensive depth when it comes to 3-on-3. So if someone were to take a penalty, they got another guy that can step in. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be our next attacking team. Let's see what type of damage they can do. Now, Carolina's pretty strong from top to bottom, so I think we're going to have a great matchup no matter what, and it's going to be Carolina versus Florida. This game could potentially end without a goal because both of these teams are pretty solid. Like, they're evenly matched. There's not going to be a lot of great chances given up. So we got 2 playoff teams matching up, 2 evenly matched teams. Only one team can win here, but both teams could technically lose. So yeah, this could be an interesting finish, especially if Florida getting the puck in the offensive zone. Matthew Tkachuk dropping it over to Seth Jones. Seth Jones has a great opportunity that he can't capitalize on. They're cycling the puck around. I'm not going to lie, if Florida scores immediately here, I will be a bit upset, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to, and now Carolina's moving the other way. It's Svechnikov versus Seth Jones. It's a one-on-one, and look at Seth Jones making the great defensive play. Here goes Barkov. Can he end this game right here? Yes, he can. Seth Jones alone is saving this game for the Florida Panthers. With that elite defensive play in Svechnikov, Seth Jones really won them this game. Now, Florida already has a bunch of elite pieces on the team. They have great forwards, they have great defense, and they got a great goaltender. So when it comes to adding a player, I think we're just going to go with Sebastian Aho. He's the highest overall. Like, we could add Jacob Slavin, and he would be the highest overall defenseman on the team. And maybe that's what we do, but you know what? I don't want to pass up on Sebastian Aho, so that's who we're going to bring to the team. Now, when it comes to bringing the best fit player or even the best player over from another team, some teams are easier than others. Like the Vancouver Canucks, yeah, Thatcher Demko made a lot of sense for the Montreal Canadiens, but Quinn Hughes was also another option. I can't pass up on Quinn Hughes. Then you have teams like the Carolina Hurricanes, where they have a ton of great options, but Florida beat them, and Florida already has a lot of depth on their team, so Sebastian Aho, you're going to switch teams. I don't think you can go wrong with that selection. Like, is there really going to be anyone upset that I took Sebastian Aho over Jacob Slavin? I don't think so. Philly's already been involved in one matchup as the defending team, but now they're ready to go on the attack. So Philly scored a big goal against Buffalo. Are they going to be able to score a big goal against this next team? They're taking on the Red Wings, and you know what? I think they have a chance. So we went from 2 playoff teams to 2 non-playoff teams. Rasmus Dahlin was acquired from the Buffalo Sabres, so let's see if he can do something right here. He's turning the puck over, and Detroit might score immediately. They got themselves a bit of a break here. They're going to send it out to Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin had a chance to end this game, but he couldn't, and now Rasmus Dahlin's going the other way. He turned the puck over and led to that breakaway. Let's see if they can pick up a goal here. What did I just witness? Oh my, Travis Konechny. No, that was nasty. Bro really went between the legs, short side, and scored. Or at least I think he went short side. Maybe he went far side. That was a wicked goal. Travis Konechny, oh my, we got to watch the replay on that. That was absolutely nasty. You could have tried to feed this over to Rasmus Dahlin, but no, you went between the legs 5-hole to end this game in OT. That was wild. I don't even know how you score this. What are we doing here? What kind of a shot is this? I don't know if you practiced this shot, but it worked out, and the Philadelphia Flyers are taking down another team. I'm not going to lie, if Travis Konechny keeps this up, I might have to buy a jersey. There's been multiple videos where that man's showing up in the big time moments, and that was a huge goal. Dylan Larkin, you're going to be brought over from the Detroit Red Wings. Yes, I could have went with Lucas Raymond, but as I've mentioned a handful of times when it comes to selecting a player from the Red Wings, I usually go with Dylan Larkin just because he's a centerman / left winger. Lucas Raymond, he's a right and left winger. I'd rather take the centerman when they're the same overall. No, but to have the confidence to pull out that shot in that moment of the game, not many people would do that. Because if you don't score there, you have to live with it. But Travis Konechny, he found the back of the net, and the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be winning another game. Now, so far, we've seen a lot of fast goals scored and a lot of amazing goals. Edmonton's going to be our next attacking team. I have incredibly high expectations for them. Like, we're talking 3-on-3 overtime with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on the ice together with lots of space to work with. Yeah, that's a hard tandem to stop. Edmonton's going to be taking on another Canadian team in the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa, your defense has to be spectacular here. It has to be basically perfect. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard on the ice together. That team is going to produce offensively. But here goes Jake Sanderson. He's going to win the game. I forgot Stuart Skinner was in net. That is one thing I didn't factor in. You might have Leon Draisaitl, you might have Connor McDavid, and you might have Evan Bouchard when it comes to 3-on-3. That team is going to produce offensively, but Stuart Skinner is the goalie. So Jake Sanderson's going to end it on the first shot of the game. Why am I not surprised? No, that is actually so incredibly funny. Connor McDavid, you are now joined the Ottawa Senators because Stuart Skinner cannot make a save. Like, it's gotten so bad that Calvin Pickard is now the starter for the Edmonton Oilers in the postseason. That's how you know you're in the absolute trenches. 79 overall, Calvin Pickard is bailing you out right now. And I shouldn't even say Calvin Pickard's bailing you out. Last game, he actually wasn't too bad. He wasn't spectacular, but he was pretty solid when you needed him. The game before, he allowed 4 goals and you still won. You can't expect to score 5 goals every game and win by scoring 5 goals. That's not sustainable. So the Edmonton Oilers are going to be falling here to the Ottawa Senators because Stuart Skinner didn't make the save. He just had to make a save there, and he didn't. It's not even like it was a wild shot or anything. It wasn't like there was a deflection or a screen in front. He just didn't make the save. Plain and simple. Now, but in all honesty, if that game right there didn't sum up the Edmonton Oilers, I don't know what would. The Pittsburgh Penguins are going to be on the attack next. Don't do what Edmonton did. Tristan Jarry, make a save. Now, although the Pittsburgh Penguins aren't the team they used to be, at some point in time, they're going to have Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang or Erik Karlsson on the ice. So those 3 guys should be able to work together. However, they're playing the Dallas Stars, and the Dallas Stars 3-on-3 are going to be absolutely elite. Then again, I said that about the Edmonton Oilers, but the big difference here, the Dallas Stars actually have a goaltender they can rely on. So right off the opening draw, the Dallas Stars are looking to attack. Miro Heiskan's bringing the puck in the offensive zone. Rupe Hintz has got it, and he can end this game right here, but Tristan Jarry is going to make the first save of overtime. Now, Dallas might have a breakaway here. They're going to send it up to Mikko Rantanen. He's got past Sidney Crosby. Can he end this game right here? It doesn't look like it. Tristan Jarry's making a big-time save. It's an unlikely hero for the Pittsburgh Penguins, so Dallas has the puck deep in the offensive zone, but Kevin Hayes is going to be collecting it. Wyatt Johnston's going to steal it, and he's going to end this game. He's going to be getting the puck past Tristan Jarry, and the Dallas Stars are going to be eliminating the Pittsburgh Penguins just like that, but they're also going to be adding a superstar to their team. One of the greatest players of all time, Sidney Crosby. It's an easy selection. So Wyatt Johnston picked up a big time goal, and as I just mentioned, Sidney Crosby is going to be switching teams. He's going to be joining the Dallas Stars. The Stars now have themselves a super team. It's going to be incredibly difficult to stop this. So Dallas made a lot of moves at the trade deadline. They made some big time moves, and this might be the biggest move yet. Adding Sidney Crosby to the team, as long as they play up to their potential, they're definitely the heavy favorite. But you know what? The Edmonton Oilers were a heavy favorite, and look how that ended. The Colorado Avalanche are going to be our next attacking team. This is another great 3-on-3 team. So who are the Colorado Avalanche going to be taking on? Oh, this is a very easy matchup. Yeah, you're adding Connor Bedard to the team. There's no way Colorado's losing. So Jonathan Drouin's going to send over to Brock Nelson. Yeah, it's a big-time goal right there. That was the first shot in overtime for the Colorado Avalanche. I thought Jonathan Drouin was going to have a breakaway, but he ended up turning the puck over. He found Brock Nelson after collecting in the corner, and just like that, the Chicago Blackhawks are eliminated. No surprise here. Now, before this game even started, I told you who I was going to add to the team. It was Connor Bedard. So Connor Bedard, welcome to the Colorado Avalanche. You're finally on a good team. So our 10th team has been eliminated in the Chicago Blackhawks. We're 10 teams down, 22 left standing, but only one can be the last team standing. So we still have 16 teams that are yet to attack, so let's figure out who our next attacking team is going to be. It looks like it's going to be the Minnesota Wild. So there weren't many attacking teams, but there's still a lot of defending teams, and it looks like the next defending team is going to be the Colorado Avalanche, somebody who we just saw in a matchup. So Colorado's immediately going to work. Nathan McKinnon's going to send it back to Marty Necas. Marty Necas over to Cale Makar, and he's getting a great opportunity, but Gustafson's making a big time save. He's making another save right there. That's the 50th shot for the Colorado Avalanche. Minnesota, you could have had a one-on-one right there, but you elected not to take it. Now here goes Cale Makar, another shot on net. No, Gustafson's keeping them in this game. But here goes the Minnesota Wild, and Kirill Kaprizov's looking to go to work, dropping it back for Brock Faber. Brock Faber over to Joel Eriksson's neck, but he can't get that past the goaltender. Brock Faber over to Eriksson's neck once again. Minnesota is moving the puck right now. They got some great puck movement. However, they're going to be turning it over, and here goes Nathan McKinnon. A chance to end this this game, but he's absolutely exhausted, and Gustafsson's making another big time save. Nah, bro's built different. So we're 2 minutes into overtime so far. Each team's had some amazing opportunities, but nobody's found the back of the net yet. Jonas Brodin's going to send it over to Nyquist. His shot's going to be poked away, and Colorado's going to be drawing a penalty here. It's a 4-on-3 in a 3-on-3 video. Maybe I should have turned penalties off, but you know what? This is what happens when you take penalties like that. Colorado's going on the power play. Now, I could have turned penalties off, but you know what? I feel like that's kind of pointless. Then you can have players taking penalty after penalty and nothing's going to be called. It's just not realistic enough. We're getting realistic hockey right here. It's a 4-on-3 for the Colorado Avalanche. They have a full 2 minutes to work with. I can only imagine they're going to find the back of the net at least once. So we got 2:30 left in this game. There's a minute 30 left on the power play. But one thing I do have to point out, nobody has scored yet, and if neither team scores, two teams are going to be eliminated. Minnesota might be eliminated and Colorado, so somebody's got to find the back of the net quick. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is Colorado's game to lose right now. Gustafsson's exhausted. They have the full pressure meter maxed out. They're on the power play. There's only so much that man can do. That's going to be his 54th save of the game. No, Gustafsson's standing on his head right now. So there's 11 seconds left on the full pressure meter. 2 minutes left in overtime. Is Colorado going to be able to pick up a big time goal? They're going to be losing the face-off. Spurgeon's going to get it out. That's a big time face-off win right there. They're putting pressure on Colorado. They're going to have to retreat. 50 seconds left on the power play. A minute 50 left in overtime here. Somebody has to find the back of the net. But just look at Gustafsson. Save after save right now. Bro is sprawling all over the place. Gustafsson is putting on a historic performance right now. But it might not be for anything because both teams could potentially be eliminated here. Minnesota's going to break this puck out. They're going to waste some more time. A minute 30 left. What is going on? So Colorado's maxed out the full pressure meter yet again. They have 6 seconds left on the power play. They're going to be losing the puck, but they're gaining it back. Murray Nature's is going to find Devon Taves. He's risking that towards the net, but the shot's going to be blocked. We're playing some 4-on-4 hockey right now. Are both teams really going to be eliminated right here? There's 55 seconds left in the game. We might lose both teams here. Now, unless somebody scores in the next 5 seconds, both teams are going to be eliminated here. I don't think Minnesota's going to get a shot off. One last chance here. It's going to be blocked, and the Minnesota Wild and Colorado Avalanche are both going to be eliminated because neither team was able to find the back of the net. I didn't think we would see this happen in today's video, but it looks like it is. Gustafsson making big save after big save. I want to know how many saves he made in overtime. 15. They were outshot 15-3 in overtime, and the only reason that Minnesota's not winning this game is because they couldn't find the back of the net. Colorado almost doubled Minnesota's shots. If you double Minnesota's shots, you're looking at 68. Colorado took 62. This was Colorado's game to win, but it was also Minnesota's game to win with the way Gustafsson was playing. But unfortunately, both teams are losing. Now, I'm not surprised that eventually we're going to see a matchup that didn't end in overtime. However, between the Colorado Avalanche and Minnesota Wild, I thought somebody would be able to score in that game. And I thought it would be Colorado, considering they outshot them 15-3. Colorado outshot them by a ton, but Gustafsson made some big saves, and Minnesota just couldn't find the back of the net. So just like that, we're losing two teams in one matchup. You hate to see it, but that's just the way it is. The Tampa Bay Lightning are looking to go on the attack next, and they're also looking to score. Like, the last thing we want to see here is multiple matchups not being settled in overtime. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. You would think somebody would be able to score an overtime winner, but we're going to find out pretty quick. Now, Toronto and Tampa, you both have one goal. Score a goal. As long as somebody scores a goal here, we're going to have a winner. The last thing I want to see is two teams getting eliminated. And Austin Matthews might have a great opportunity right here. He has a bit of a breakaway, but he's not going to get that one past Vasilevsky. There is a loose puck, though. Another shot towards Vasilevsky, but he's making a big save. And here goes Braden Point and Victor Hedman moving the other way. Where is Victor Hedman? He gave that up to Braden Point, and then he just disappeared. Bro vanished. So Austin Matthews is getting a breakaway because of terrible defense, and he's going to end this game. What was that defense? I don't care whether or not Austin Matthews scored that goal. What is that atrocious defense I just witnessed there? So we got Marner and Matthews out here, and just look at this high IQ play from Marner. He is going to distract the defenseman. I don't know how he distracts the defenseman here, because Austin Matthews is the one that has the puck. He is faking out Darren Radish by looking at Mitch Marner, but he's going to take this in himself. He's got himself a breakaway. Vasilevsky's going to make the first save, but Matthews is going to be right there for the rebound, and he's going to bury it. But yeah, what was that defense? Now, Tampa has a lot of great players, but when it comes to adding somebody to the Toronto Maple Leafs that makes the most sense, I think it's Andrei Vasilevskiy. Like, he's a 93 overall. It's a 9 overall jump from Joseph Woll and Stolarz. That makes the most sense. Or at least I think that makes the most sense. Vasilevskiy, welcome to the team. You're going to play some big minutes for Toronto. Like, yes, we could have gone with Nikita Kucherov, and that would make a lot of sense as well. But I feel like bringing Vasilevskiy over just makes a little bit more sense. So Vasilevskiy, you're going to be switching teams here. Toronto's going to be receiving a nice upgrade. With the addition of Vasilevskiy, they're looking pretty strong. But whether or not that success is going to continue, we're going to find out pretty quick here. The Florida Panthers have been involved in a matchup, but now it's time for them to go on the attack. Like, Florida's already received a pretty significant upgrade in Sebastian Aho, but it looks like they're looking to add more to the team, and they want to bring Robert Thomas on. They're taking on the St. Louis Blues. This is going to be a good matchup. Now, both of these teams have received an upgrade. Like, Florida got Sebastian Aho, but we can't forget St. Louis did get Zach Werenski, and he's going to be a big help to this team. But Florida's pushing right now, and they might have a great opportunity, but Binner's going to make a big save. So Aaron Ekblad's bringing the puck in. He's ripping one on net. It was almost an own goal right there. Zach Werenski almost put it into his own net, but it looks like St. Louis is going to break it out, and Dylan Holloway's going to have a chance to end this game. Why are you dropping it back there? You had a breakaway. You could have ended this game, but you dropped it back for some stupid reason. So Brad Marchand with a nice pass to Carver Hagee. He's got himself a breakaway, and he's going to end this. That was a great pass from Brad Marchand, but what are we doing there? Why are two players pinching over, leaving Carver Hagee wide open? Nah, St. Louis just wasn't thinking there. So we all know how it works. You always have to add players from the original team. So Zach Werenski, we can't add you from the St. Louis Blues because you're actually on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So who are we going to add instead? Robert Thomas is going to be switching teams. He's joined the Florida Panthers. I think that makes the most sense here. Like Colton Parayko and Justin Falk, I don't really know how big of an impact they would make on Florida's team right now because they have 3 defensemen that's better than these 2 guys right here. So yeah, Robert Thomas is the clear addition. Now you just hate to see it. The St. Louis Blues are going to fall to the Florida Panthers. Robert Thomas is switching teams. It just breaks my heart. But whether my heart is broken or not, it doesn't matter because we have to move on to our next matchup, and it looks like that's going to feature the Anaheim Ducks attacking. Now I'm going to be honest. I really don't expect the Ducks to win here. No matter who they take on, I just can't see them winning. I'm going to take the Kraken over the Ducks. I have more confidence in what the Kraken have to offer. Now, it's kind of wild to think about. Like, the Anaheim Ducks are my second favorite team, but I just have zero faith in that team. I don't like their coach. I don't like their management. I think a lot of the players are overhyped there. There's not too much I actually like about the Ducks right now, other than Lucas Dostal. I really like Lucas Dostal. I think he's going to be a great goaltender. But yeah, I question like 95% of this team. But here goes Mason McTavish. One guy I don't question. I think he's a pretty solid young player. Zellweger, he's a great defenseman. But yeah, there's just a lot of questionable moves this team has made over the past like 10 years. But it looks like the Anaheim Ducks are going to be drawing a penalty unless they can score right here. Joey Decord's making a big save. But now it's time for the Ducks to go on the power play. So the Ducks have an offensive zone draw here. But Chandler Stevenson's going to be tying it up, but he's going to lose the puck. Lacombe's got a great opportunity right here. And Jackson Lacombe is going to end this game. One of the bright pieces for the Anaheim Ducks. I guess Anaheim's going to be coming out on top here. Never would have expected that. But then again, Seattle took a really stupid penalty. The Ducks had the power play, and they utilized it, winning this game. Now, I don't know if this is going to turn out to be a controversial decision or not, but Brandon Montour, I'm actually going to pass up on you and go for Vince Dunn, and the only reason I'm doing that is because Vince Dunn is a left and right defenseman. Brandon Montour is only a right defenseman. They're the exact same overall. I feel like that logic makes sense. Now, that ended up being a really short game. The Anaheim Ducks got the power play early. They capitalized on the power play early, and just like that, the Seattle Kraken are going to be eliminated, and the Ducks are moving on. Alright, maybe I was sleeping on the Anaheim Ducks. Maybe they're better than what I think they are, but I don't think that's the case. The Nashville Predators are going to be on the attack next. This is an interesting team for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, this season they were terrible. On paper though, when it comes to NHL 25, they're not that bad of a team. They're taking on the San Jose Sharks. I think Nashville's got to be the favorite here. Now, the Nashville Predators are putting a ton of pressure on the San Jose Sharks right now. Bray Shea's got a great opportunity, and he's going to sneak that past the blocker of Georgiev. Georgiev's going to be letting in a weak one here, and the Nashville Predators are taking down the San Jose Sharks, and they're going to be advancing after they add a new player. So the Nashville Predators are going to be ending that game with a big-time goal, and that means they're going to be adding a big-time player, and that player is going to be Macklin Celebrini. When it comes to the San Jose Sharks, we're just adding the best player available, and that's what Macklin Celebrini was. So San Jose's falling to the Nashville Predators. I don't feel like that's much of a surprise. is Nashville is clearly the better team. But with another team eliminated, we're give or take halfway through. So we might be halfway through our teams, but 9 teams still have to attack here, and it looks like our next attacking one's the New York Rangers. Now we've reached the point where a handful of teams have already been in matchups, and it looks like we're seeing a team that was literally just in a matchup, the Nashville Predators. They went from attacking to now defending. So Nashville was our last attacking team, and they were able to pull out a victory. Let's see if they can do that now they're defending. They have a great opportunity right here, but Shesterkin's making a big time save. No, they just ran straight through Adam Fox. So after Adam Fox got ran over, here goes the New York Rangers bringing the puck in. They're sending it over to JT Miller, and he's going to end this game just like that. 16 seconds into the game. All right, Adam Fox, you might have got ran over 6 seconds into overtime, but your team's going to come out on top, so I guess you'll take it. Now, I think the funniest thing about that game right there was even though you added Macklin-Breen to the team, he didn't even get to step on the ice in 3-on-3. Like, bro was just chilling on the bench, and you allowed a goal 16 seconds in, so he didn't even get an opportunity. When it comes to adding a player to the New York Rangers, we're going to go with Roman Josi here. He's the highest overall. 4 overalls higher than Philip Forsberg, and I think the Rangers could use another elite defenseman. So after taking down the San Jose Sharks, he didn't last too long after that. The Nashville Predators are now eliminated, and the Rangers got a pretty solid upgrade. So I guess we're about to see if the same thing happens to the New York Rangers as it did to the Nashville Predators. The Toronto Maple Leafs are attacking. Are they going to take on the Rangers and immediately eliminate them in 16 seconds? Probably not, but it's a possibility. Like, it would certainly be shocking if they matched up against the Rangers, but I don't think it's going to be happening. Instead, Florida's going to get into their third matchup, and this is going to be a tough task for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They haven't seen a team like Florida yet. So it's technically another Florida-Toronto matchup. Oh my god, Brandon Carlo could end this game right here. I thought Brandon Carlo was really going to be the hero like that. It doesn't look like it. Bobrovsky's going to make the save. So the Maple Leafs have an offensive zone draw here that they're going to be losing. Bobrovsky's making the save though, and he's going to elect to play that. Okay, he's getting risky, but it's going to work out because they're going to kill off the full pressure meter, and they got themselves a 2-on-1. If you center that, that's an easy tap in, but Sebastian Aho is going to elect to shoot. He's trying to collect that behind the net, but John Tavares is going to get it, and they're going to break it out. And here goes the Toronto Maple Leafs up to Chris Tanev. He's running the offense here. Don't know why Chris Tanev's running the offense, but that's just the way it is. He's going to dish it out to Johnny T, but look at Bobrovsky making another huge save. He's standing on his head right now. He's the only reason this game isn't over. William Nylander's going to get a great opportunity, and Bobrovsky just can't save them all. The Toronto Maple Leafs are taking down the Florida Panthers. Nah, y'all have to give Bobrovsky a bit more support than that. He was doing everything he could to keep you in that game. So that was a great showing from the Toronto Maple Leafs right there. When you needed them most, they actually showed up. Can't say those words very often, because y'all just lost back-to-back games against the Ottawa Senators. There is no way you're blowing a 3-0 series lead to the Ottawa Senators. That's not happening. Barakov's going to be joining the Toronto Maple Leafs. No, like, I really can't emphasize this enough. Toronto, you can't do it. You can't blow a 3-0 series lead to the Ottawa Senators. There's just no way you're doing that. You have a bunch of stick-on-the-ice legends on the team. 5 stick-on-the-ice legends to be exact. You have Max Domi. You have Scott Laughton, also known as Sean Laughton. You have Pontus Holmberg. You have Bobby McMahon. And then most importantly, probably the most valuable stick-on-the-ice legend, Brandon Carlo. With those 5 players right there, there is no way you fold, or at least there shouldn't be any way you fold. But you know what? You guys do impressive things, and you always fold, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But you know what? Enough talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's move on to our next matchup, and we're going to see a team that actually has beaten the Toronto Maple Leafs a handful of times in the playoffs, the Boston Bruins. I will say it would be incredibly fitting if we somehow got Boston versus Toronto here, but that's not going to be the case. We have Boston versus Winnipeg. Now, we haven't seen the Boston Bruins or the Winnipeg Jets yet, so it's good to see that we're finally seeing 2 brand new teams, but only one of them is going to be moving on, and it could be the Boston Bruins if Casey Milstad's able to score a goal right here, but Connor Hellebuyck's going to be showing up in overtime. Now that was just a stupid penalty right there. The Boston Bruins are just taking in a very, very dumb penalty. But you know what? They might not need that power play. If they just would have went to the backhand there, they would have had a goal. Pion's going to send over to Velarde. Velarde's going to send over to Kyle Connor. They're going to dish it out in front to Ehlers, and they didn't even need the power play. With the extra man on the ice, they're going to be able to capitalize, and Ehlers is going to be burying this one home. But I just want to point out that penalty, because what was that penalty? Like, what was Boston thinking? Like, right off the draw here, Elias Lindholm. Buddy, what is the plan? Why did you do that? That was the penalty right there. An interference call. That was just stupid. That was a stupid penalty right there, and because of that penalty, Winnipeg's going to be winning. So Elias Lindholm cost the Boston Bruins the game, but he also costed them David Pastrnak, because he's going to be joining the Winnipeg Jets, and he's going to be a massive upgrade to their first line. Like Dave Pastrnak, Kyle Connor, and Mark Scheifele, nah, that line's going to produce points. So Boston, you deserve to lose that game. That was a stupid penalty to take, and because of that dumb Lindholm interference, Winnipeg's winning the game. So 6 teams are left that need to attack, and it looks like the next attacking team is going to be the LA Kings, a team that is currently imploding on themselves. Y'all had a 2-0 lead against the Edmonton Oilers. What happened? No, seriously, LA, what's happening? Like, that team is just imploding on themselves because apparently you're not supposed to take shots in the third period, or at least that's what Jim Hiller thinks, because he's telling this team to not take shots and just play defense, and then he only runs 2 forward lines and 2 defensive pairings. And what a surprise, when you do that, your players get exhausted. I don't know what he is doing. Now, in a situation like this, I already know what Jim Hiller would say. Let's just play a defensive-minded game right now and get ourselves into a shootout, knowing that would end up eliminating the LA Kings and the Islanders. But he would be okay with that because that means the Islanders didn't score. No, like, seriously, what is bro thinking right now? Alright, so we're just 30 seconds into overtime, and here goes Drew Doughty. It looks like he's showing a little bit of that offense that Jim Hiller doesn't like. Bo Horvat's got the puck, and he's looking to break this out. He's going to send it up to Noah Dobson. Noah Dobson's going to throw it over to Matt Barzal. He's absolutely exhausted. It looks like his shot's going to be stopped here, but he's going to get his own rebound. Darcy Kuemper, do you know how to work a glove? Like, seriously, there was countless times in game number 5 where you just didn't catch the puck. It went in your glove and you dropped it. I don't know what's going on with Darcy Kuemper. I don't know what's going on with the LA Kings. Granted, Kuemper did stand on his head. Like, he made a lot of big time saves. But yeah, there was just multiple times where he could have just made an easy glove save, and for some reason he just couldn't catch the puck. I don't know what it was, but yeah, LA is just imploding on themselves right now. So when it comes to the Islanders, anything's an upgrade here. So we're just going to go with the highest overall being Kopitar. Like, could they use a defenseman here? I guess, but they already have 3 solid defensemen here. So I think Kopitar makes the most sense. He's going to be the highest rated forward on the team. That's certainly the right decision when it comes to the Islanders. So another team is going to be eliminated with the Islanders scoring that overtime winner. We're almost down to the final 10 teams. We just need 2 more to be eliminated. And as we've seen once before, it is possible for 2 teams to be eliminated in one matchup if neither team is able to score an overtime goal. The Islanders are going to go from defending to attacking. Let's see who they're going to take on. Now, the only team that hasn't been in a matchup so far is the Vegas Golden Knights, and it looks like they're going to continue to survive here because the Islanders are taking on the Winnipeg Jets, so Vegas is going to be surviving another day here by doing absolutely nothing. So Anthony Duclair is going to send it back to Ryan Pollock. He's going to tee one up, but Halbuck's making the big save, and with Anthony Duclair down, they have a chance to capitalize, and now they have a chance to capitalize. That was a big rebound that Velarde's picking up, but he's going to lose it, and now here goes the Islanders. Anthony Duclair, another chance to win it here, and he's going to win it this time. He's going to sneak this one past Halbuck, and the Islanders are going to be winning back-to-back matchups. This time they're taking down the Winnipeg Jets. So in normal circumstances, Connor Halbuck would be switching teams, but the Islanders have Sorokin, so I don't think Connor Halbuck makes the most sense here. Out of all the players, it's got to be Kyle Connor, 93 overall sniper. He's now going to be joining the New York Islanders, and he's going to give them some much-needed goal scoring. But then again, maybe they don't need goal scoring because they've won back-to-back games scoring goals. Maybe the Islanders are legit and we just don't know it. So I guess David Pastrnak wasn't enough to save the Winnipeg Jets. They're going to be falling to the Islanders. The Islanders have won back-to-back games, but I think they could use a bit of a rest. So how about the Islanders get a break here and the Vegas Golden Knights finally get involved in a matchup? That's what's going to be happening. So Vegas is going to be involved in their first matchup. Who are they going to be taking on? Okay, this is beyond ridiculous. It's time to see the Islanders for the 3rd game in a row. So the Islanders are involved in their 3rd matchup in a row. They have 2 victories so far. Can they pull out a 3rd victory here? We're going to find out pretty quick. Now, the Islanders are a little bit exhausted right now. They've been involved in a handful of matchups. They just don't have a lot left in the tank here. The puck's pinned in the corner, but it looks like it's going to be broken out to Kyle Connor. He just has to get this deep and get off for a change. But he's electing to keep it, and he wants to go to work here. Aiden Hill's going to be making a save. Maybe Kyle Connor was cooking there. You know what? You get some fresh legs on the ice, an offensive zone draw. That could change things. So they got some fresh legs on the ice here. Matt Barzal's taking the face off. He's going to be losing that one, but they still have the puck in the offensive zone here. Look at that intercept from Matt Barzal. It's a nice stick lift from Noah Hannafin. Bo Horvat probably would have ended the game right there, but instead Vegas is moving the other way. But no, they aren't. It looks like the Islanders continue to put great pressure on here. Matt Barzal, a weak backhander, is somehow getting past Aiden Hill. I guess that must have surprised him. And the Islanders, for the 3rd straight game in a row, 3 overtime goals. The Vegas Golden Knights are finally falling in their first matchup, but there's something special about this Islanders team right now. No, the Islanders are really building something here. Jack Eichel's now going to be joining the team. So you've added Jack Eichel, you've added Kyle Connor, you've added Anze Kopitar. That's a nice big 3 you can certainly work with. 3 great players added to the team, and you have Sorokin in between the pipes. You got Noah Dobson, you got Adam Pelech, you have Ryan Pollock. You can't sleep on this team right now. So the Islanders are on a stupid run right now. 3 straight victories. Nobody can really compete with them. They just keep on finding ways to win games right now. Although they might not have the best team here, I think they have to be one of the favorites because they've shown up 3 straight times. Now, there's only 2 more teams that need to attack in round number 1, and it looks like our next attacking team is going to be the Ottawa Senators. So that means Dallas will be our final attacking team in round number 1. Well, I guess there technically is one way where Dallas isn't our last attacking team, and that's if Dallas loses this matchup right here that they're actually getting into. There was a 1 in 9 chance we landed on Dallas, and it looks like we got those odds. Alright, so the puck's just kind of big dog chilling behind the net here. Rupe Hintz is going to end the game. McDavid, what happened? Like, what actually happened there for Connor McDavid? Because he was behind the net and he had the puck and he just kind of messed this all up. So he started off by driving the puck right into the back of the net. He then had to go collect the puck because he lost it. He's going to get knocked right over because he has absolutely no energy whatsoever and he's just going to lay on the ice. He's absolutely exhausted. He can't get back up. Pass over to Rupe Hintz in the back of the net. Game over. But yeah, what was that, McDavid? What did I just witness from you? You could have collected this puck just round the boards and you would have been all right. But nope. Right into the back of the net and you're costing Ottawa the game. Now, I think he was just salty that the Senators beat the Oilers, so he's throwing for the Senators. So our first round's not quite over yet because the Ottawa Senators lost that game, meaning the Dallas Stars still have to attack. Before they go attack though, they do have to add somebody to the team, and I think they're going to be adding Brady Tkachuk here. Of course, they can't add Connor McDavid because he's originally from the Edmonton Oilers, so instead they're bringing in Brady Tkachuk. Now, yes, we could have taken Tim Stützle from the Ottawa Senators, but I went with Brady Tkachuk because he's a power forward, and I feel like the Dallas Stars already have enough playmakers, and that's what Tim Stützle is, so I feel like that's just a better fit. So we know the Dallas Stars are going to be doing the attacking. It's our final matchup at round number 1. Why am I not surprised? It's the Dallas Stars versus the New York Islanders. So we're early into overtime. Mikko Rantanen's going to dish over to Rupe Hintz. He scored a couple OT winners, and he's going to be picking up another one right here. Back-to-back overtime winners for Rupe Hintz. He scored against the Senators. He's scoring against the Islanders. The Islanders are finally eliminated after a miracle run, but I guess that miracle run just wasn't sustainable. The Dallas Stars are going to be eliminating them, and our first round's officially in the books. Now, the Islanders picked up 3 really good players, but I guess those 3 players just weren't enough. They're going to be eliminated by the Dallas Stars. And when it comes to Dallas, I'm low-key thinking Noah Dobson here. I think Noah Dobson might be the best fit. You have a bunch of elite forwards. You could use another elite defenseman. Yeah, Noah Dobson, we're going to go with you. You're a higher overall than Matt Barzal and Bo Horvat. There's already a ton of great forwards on the Dallas Stars. How about we add a great defenseman? So with that victory from the Dallas Stars, not only is the first round over, but we're officially down to our final 8 teams. The Anaheim Ducks, the Dallas Stars, the Montreal Canadiens, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Toronto Maple Leafs, Utah Hockey Club, and the Washington Capitals. So without further ado, let's move on to round number 2 and see what happens. So moving into round number 2, we have 8 teams remaining. Who's going to be our first attacking team of round number 2? The New York Rangers. Now there is one thing that I'm slightly concerned about, but you know what? We're not even going to talk about it because if I talk about it, then it definitely will happen. But let's just say it involves 2 teams not scoring in one of the final games. That would make things really interesting. But New York's going to be taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know somebody's going to score in this matchup. So Toronto's already putting some early pressure on, but JT Miller's going to steal that puck away, and Toronto's going to be picking up a penalty here. What are they doing? The Toronto Maple Leafs are selling right now. Nah, this team is a bunch of frauds. Mitch Marner is going to be picking up an interference penalty. That's all I can assume it is here. Maybe it was a slashing penalty. I don't even know what Mitch Marner did. All I know is he's taking a penalty here. 2 minutes for slashing. He's putting the Rangers on the power play here in overtime. Nah, this team messed up big time. So the Rangers are putting a lot of pressure on the Maple Leafs, but it looks like they're going to get out, and Morgan Riley's going to lead the charge here. He'll probably just throw something on net. Shesterkin's making that save. And now the Toronto Maple Leafs have the full pressure meter maxed out. And look at Bobby McMann. An absolute rocket into the back of the net. A shorthanded goal for stick on the ice legend Bobby McMann. You can never doubt those stick on the ice legends. When the going gets tough, you turn to the stick on the ice legends, and they find a way to score. A shorthanded goal from Bobby McMann. An absolute rocket. Nah, he really saved that game. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty historic win right there. Bobby McMann, stick on the ice legend Bobby McMann scoring that goal. And Panarin, I don't know if I bring you to the team here. I think Adam Fox makes a bit more sense. They need a superstar defenseman. The best defenseman right now is Morgan Riley, 88 overall. We are gonna pass up on Panarin. We're bringing Adam Fox to the team. I feel like that makes a little bit more sense. This is a controversial decision, but I feel like the Leafs need Adam Fox more than they need Panarin. So another team is falling following here, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have now beat 3 different teams, 2 teams from Florida, the New York Rangers. This team might be a powerhouse. So the Rangers are eliminated, which means there's 7 teams left. Who's going to be our next attacking team? I don't know if that's Philly or Montreal. It looks like it's Montreal. So the Canadiens are attacking, but we got to figure out who they're taking on. They're taking on another powerhouse in the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars have won a couple recent games. Let's see if they can beat Montreal, or is Montreal going to be staying alive for another day? So the Dallas Stars have won a lot of big time games. I think they're going to end this one right here. Sidney Crosby's shot's going a bit wide, so they're not going to be capitalizing. And here goes Nick Suzuki the other way. We're just 15 seconds into overtime, and he's going to ring it right off the post. The Dallas Stars are looking to go the other way here, and they might have a jump. Sidney Crosby was wide open. They couldn't get the pass across. Nick Suzuki had another chance. Did you just go for a one-handed tuck in that situation? You went for a one-handed tuck when the goaltender was just sitting right there. What are you cooking up? Why did you think that would work? You're drawing a penalty though, so I guess you can work with that. But yeah, Nick Suzuki, like, what were you thinking? Why did you think that would work? Sidney Crosby's picking up a boarding penalty here. It's rigged for the Montreal Canadiens. No, it's not right here. I think that was a clean hit. Did he hit him directly in the numbers? Absolutely. But it's still a clean hit because it's Sidney Crosby. Okay, I'm going to be honest, this doesn't really make much sense to me, but somehow the Dallas Stars have been putting more pressure on the Montreal Canadiens than Montreal's been putting on Dallas, but they had a great chance right there. The full pressure meter was maxed out. They just couldn't capitalize. There's 2:45 left in this game. Just want to point that out. If neither of these teams scores, both of them are going to be eliminated. It's only happened once in the video so far, but it could potentially happen here again. So Montreal is going to get a great chance. Brendan Gallagher is absolutely lighting up Sidney Crosby, and somehow out of all players on the Montreal Canadiens, when you need a goal, Brendan Gallagher is going to be stepping up in the big time moments. It was a huge hit on Sidney Crosby, which led to the turnover. Brendan Gallagher is picking that one up, and he's going to end it. The Dallas Stars are eliminated. No, Montreal's showing up when it matters. Like, that was a big time hit from Brendan Gallagher, sent Sidney Crosby right into the boards. He's going to find the back of the net, and the Montreal Canadiens are going to be eliminating the Dallas Stars. So I thought the Dallas Stars were going to cruise to the final. They just had so much elite talent here, but I guess that elite talent wasn't enough. It's time to add somebody to the Montreal Canadiens. They have way too many left defensemen right now. They certainly need a good sniper, or maybe even a good goaltender, because the Otters available here. Is Jake Ottinger more valuable than Monteboldt? I think that could be the play here. Instead of bringing Mikko Rantanen in, we bring in Jake Ottinger, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So Monteboldt, you're now going to be the backup. Jake Ottinger is the starter. I feel like that's the right decision. So the Montreal Canadiens have added 2 great pieces to the team. In their first win, they were able to claim Quinn Hughes. In their second win, the Otter. All they really need is a superstar forward, and I think they have everything they need. So with Dallas being eliminated, that means there's only 5 attacking teams left. The next attacking team is going to be the Washington Capitals. So Washington is going to be attacking, and it is very possible for them to take on somebody who was just in the last matchup, but that's not going to be happening. They're taking on Utah. I mean, it was a 1 in 5 chance they took on Montreal, and then a 1 in 5 chance they took on Toronto. So there was a 40% chance that either Toronto and Montreal would be involved in another game, but I guess that's not happening. Utah's going to get involved in a matchup. So it's been a while since we've seen either Utah or Washington. Like, I don't know what these teams have been doing, but it's been a long time since we've seen either of them. Washington's immediately going on the attack though. Alexander Ovechkin's looking to score, and that's exactly what he's doing. What were we, 10 seconds in? That was quick. That was a real quick goal, and just like that, Utah's eliminated. So that was a really quick goal from Alexander Ovechkin, 8 seconds to be exact. Now who do we add? Clayton Keller or Sergachev? It's one of these 2 guys right here. Like, I think Sergachev would make a bit more sense. You know what? You bring in a good defenseman, but then again, they do have John Carlson and Jacob Chikrin, so I take that back. Clayton Keller's the guy. So we're officially down to our final 5. The Anaheim Ducks, Montreal Canadiens, Philadelphia Flyers, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Washington Capitals. Every team except for the Anaheim Ducks has beaten multiple teams so far. So if the Ducks really want to compete with the best, they have to win their next matchup. So since Utah was eliminated in that last matchup, they don't get to be the attacking team. Toronto, we just saw them, 2 or 3 matchups ago? It's time for them to get involved in another, but this time they're attacking. So are the Ducks going to make it into the final 4 here by doing absolutely nothing? It looks like it. After this matchup, there's only going to be 1 Canadian team left. Is it going to be Toronto, or is it going to be Montreal? So Adam Fox is absolutely flying right now. Oh my god, he just snapped his ankles. Where are you going? Shout out Chris Smooth. That man needs a map. Where are you going? Jake Ottinger, what are you doing? Adam Fox, coast to coast, ankles snapped. Broke his ankles. Jake Ottinger, where are you going? You need a map. Bro is lost. Oh my, Adam Fox, what a goal right there. But nah, You really just broke his ankles like that. Just a nice little weave. He just comes in, weave out of the way. He is gone. Nah, Jake Ottinger needs a map. Where are you going? Show Chris Smoove, one of the GOATs. Now, if you question that Adam Fox edition, you can't say anything now. Bro completely broke Jake Ottinger's ankles. That was wild. Maybe the Montreal Canadiens should have went with Mikko Rantanen because, yeah, that was wild. The Otter was completely lost. Nick Suzuki's switching teams now. Toronto's a powerhouse. Now, I don't know who that's more embarrassing for, the Montreal Canadiens or Jake Ottinger. I think it's clearly Jake Ottinger. Like, he had his ankles completely broken. Adam Fox just completely weaved that man. He faked him out. No, that was wild. We're down to our final 4 teams, but only 2 teams are left to attack, the Anaheim Ducks and the Philadelphia Flyers. So we have 2 attacking teams left, the Philadelphia Flyers and the Ducks, and it looks like it's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers. They might even take on the Ducks. We'll have to wait and see because there is some other options. Because it is possible they take on either the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Washington Capitals, and it looks like Anaheim's going to advance into the final 3. We just need a winner between these 2 teams right here, the Flyers and the Capitals. So one of these 2 teams is likely going to make it into the final 3. The reason I say likely, there is a chance that both of these teams get eliminated here. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is a possibility. So Philly's got an offensive zone draw that Jack Hughes is going to be winning, but they're not gaining control of it. John Carlson's going to collect it, and now Washington's moving. They got themselves numbers right now. John Carlson over to Jack Hughes. There's a loose puck that Ovi's collecting, but John Carlson's picking up an interference penalty. Philly's going on the power play. No, the collapse has begun for Washington. What did I just witness there? No, that's a tough penalty to take right there. Ovi probably could have buried the winner too. Washington's likely going to be losing because of that interference penalty right there. There was nothing. Okay, no, that was a bit of a shove. Yeah, I was about to say there was no push there, but no, John Carlson did interfere, and now Philly's going on the power play. Okay, we're a minute into the Philadelphia Flyers power play, and they haven't taken a shot yet. They have not taken a single shot on the power play. Washington's taken more shots than Philly. All right, so Philly's finally starting to do something here in the offensive zone. That was the second shot of their power play. They got 40 seconds left. Washington's putting in some great defensive work right now. All right, Philly's got the full pressure meter maxed out. It's time for them to go to work. Sean Couturier's got, but the shot's going to be blocked. Rasmus Dahlon's pockets picked, but they're picking up another penalty. It's a 5-on-3 power play for the Philadelphia Flyers. The full pressure meter is maxed out. If y'all don't score right here, then you just completely folded, and it is one of the biggest fold jobs I've ever seen. For the entirety of overtime, Washington's basically going to have to kill it off here. It's a 5-on-3 for the Philadelphia Flyers. There's no way they don't score here. The full pressure meter is maxed out. Martin Fehervary's intercepting the puck, and he's going to get it out. So the full pressure meter is done just like that. But Philly still has a lot of time to work with. However, the 5-on-3 is now over, and now it's a 5-on-4. But Philly's still looking to go to work here. A minute 40 on the next power play, but they don't need a minute 40 because Rasmus Dahlin is going to get this one past Logan Thompson. They're going to be eliminating the Washington Capitals, and we're officially down to our final 3. The Philadelphia Flyers, Anaheim Ducks, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, there's certainly been some surprises in this video. Philadelphia Flyers are going to take down the Washington Capitals with that big time goal, and with that big goal, Alexander Ovechkin is going to be joining Philly, so he still has a chance to win in this video, but unfortunately he's not going to be winning with Washington. So Washington's eliminated, and one team's going to be making it to the final in this next spin. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be attacking. We just don't know who they're going to be taking on. Are they taking on Philly, or are they taking on Toronto? So who's going to be taking on the Ducks? Is it going to be Philly, or is it going to be Toronto? It's going to be the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I do want to point this out. I wasn't going to mention this. I said at the beginning of round 2 I wasn't going to talk about it, but there is a slight chance, like I mean the slightest chance, that the Toronto Maple Leafs can win this video without having to play one more game. If neither the Ducks or Philly scores in this next game, the Toronto Maple Leafs are champions. I really hope that doesn't happen here. Now, I don't care who wins here. The Ducks can win, the Flyers can win. It doesn't matter to me. All I care about is somebody winning this game. I refuse to let Toronto win by not even having to play in the final. Alright, so it looks like the Philadelphia Flyers have numbers, and it's going to be a breakaway for Dylan Larkin, a chance to end this and make it to the final, but he's not going to be able to capitalize on the breakaway. But look at Philly putting on some pressure right now, but now the Ducks have numbers going the other way. Troy Terry's got the puck. If Jacob Trouba can speed up a little bit, someone might be open. Leo Carlson's going to send over to Trouba. He's sending that towards net. It's deflected, and it's in the back of the net. The Anaheim Ducks are taking down the Philadelphia Flyers, and our final is set. We have the Ducks taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs, an unlikely matchup, but both of these teams have made it this far. So they've earned it. So one more player needs to be added before we get into our final. And who's that player going to be? Travis Konechny. You're going to be joined the Anaheim Ducks, and it's set. The Ducks are taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs for the final. How did the Ducks make it this far? I have no clue. So the Philadelphia Flyers are eliminated by the Anaheim Ducks, and there's 2 teams left. The Ducks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I actually just realized there is a possibility this video ends with no winner. If neither of these teams score in overtime, then nobody wins. I kind of hope nobody scores now because I think that would be really funny. So it's about time the final starts. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Anaheim Ducks going at it, and Toronto's immediately getting themselves a 2-on-1. Don't end it this early. We can't end this 8 seconds into overtime. Austin Matthews is going to miss the net. Toronto's going to go back and recover. I'm just happy this didn't end 8 seconds into the game. That would have been tough. Like, we need this game to go back and forth a little bit. We can't have the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Ducks just ending it 20 seconds into the game. Where's the suspense in that? We need these 2 teams to go back and forth a little bit. Austin Matthews is bringing the puck into the zone. He has a lot of... You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. Austin Matthews picks up the hat trick, and that's the winning goal. The Toronto Maple Leafs are taking down the Anaheim Ducks because Lucas Dostal couldn't make that save. Out of all the saves you couldn't make, that was the save that's going to end it right here. He does this pointless deke for absolutely no reason. He keeps this on the ice. Okay, I guess it wasn't technically on the ice. He elevated it a little bit. But Lucas Dostal, you have to make that save. Why did you react so late? Like, come on, man. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure I could have made that save. You are an NHL goaltender. You didn't react until it was right here. Buddy's not even looking at the puck. I don't know what he's looking at. Like, Lucas Dostal, how are you making this save? How can you see the puck from right there? You are not even looking at it. I don't know what you're looking at. You're looking at the ice. You're not even staring at the puck. No wonder you couldn't make this save. Because of this goal right here, Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs are winning this 3-on-3 style challenge. Nah, ain't no way that's the goal you're allowing. Nah, like, I'm really not going to get over that. Lucas Dostal, make a save for me.